going to do a simple text overlay by clicking on our Effects tab, and then you can go to Video Generators. And a good idea is to close your triangles as you use them. As you can see, I had a few that weren't closed. And we're going to drop down our text folder, and I will just drop down a simple scrolling text. Then I will place it onto my V2 track, which is located above V1. And so this is a simple little video. You can get a lot more complex with Final Cut, but we're going to keep it simple. So to apply our text, we're going to double click on the clip, and as we do that, notice it kind of pops up in this little window, and there's little tabs up here. We have video, controls, filters, and motion, and for right now we're just going to focus on controls. This pulls up our text field. We're just going to call this module 1 edit simple Final Cut techniques, and that'll be it basically. Now you're going to see a red line appear down here, and we can view by scrubbing across our timeline and see like how our text will look. And that looks okay. It's a little busy or whatever, but nice and simple. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of scrub along until our text goes away, and we're just going to snip off the end of this because we don't need that. And red always means render, and you can render in one of two ways. I'm a hotkey person, so Command R is a nice way to do it, but you can also click on Sequence, go to Render Selection, and you can say render both. And right now it will write your video, and that is it applying the text. It's kind of writing it to a temporary video file, which is important. And so we're just going to cue back and play, and boom, we have a nice little simple text floating across, nice and clean. And we're just going to snip off the end here, clean it up, drop a cut. We're going to do a little fade out. We're going to close our video generators. We're going to open up our video transitions, go back to our basic dissolves, and bam, place that. Then we'll come down to audio transitions and drop in audio transitions so our audio just doesn't cut off. And notice we have a little speck of red there, so we're just going to Apple R, or Command R, I mean. Alright, so that's a nice little basic edit right there. And now at this point we're ready to export this. And that can get complicated, should we choose, but I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible. So before I export, I'm going to select my sequence. Notice I can select whatever around here, but I need to select my sequence so Final Cut knows what it's actually trying to export. And I'm just going to hit Apple minus to kind of zoom out. And notice we have this space at the beginning. I like to leave a little space in case I want to you know, insert something beforehand or what have you. It just leaves you some room for editing freedom. One thing we forgot was to fade in. I always want to fade into our videos. And I'll drag it in a little bit more so it's a little bit more dramatic. I can hit there and I will close that gap by deleting that. And we will now close our little triangle here. Drop down menu and close our video transitions, and then we'll go back to our project tab. So here's our sequence 1, and we can look right here and it tells us the duration of it. It's 48 seconds and 22 frames, because remember there's 30 frames per second of video. And we are now going to export this. So we click on our sequence, we go up to File, We go to export and we do QuickTime Movie. Now you can do that if you're going to stay in the Mac world and you want to burn it to a DVD later, and that will be a discussion in Module 2. So for right now, we're just going to keep it simple for those that are operating on a Mac world, and we're just going to export it to a QuickTime Movie. And right here is our Explorer window here, our little window navigation area. Right here we have our settings. We're just going to use our current settings. It has a bunch of different codecs that you can use. No need to get involved in that just yet. That's on down the road. You can also just do a video only or an audio only bounce depending upon, or export depending upon your needs. We want both for this. And yeah, make movies self-contained. You always want to make sure that that checkbox stays checked. And so we will just call this sample edit, and we will just hit save. And right now, if you do not see a blue line going across your computer screen indicating that it's actually writing video and audio, then something did not occur properly, and you will need to go back and repeat the steps to edit, which is click on sequence 1, then go up here, click on File, Export, and then choose QuickTime Movie from the drop-down menu. And at this point, it's continuing to export, and after we export this, we will watch it and see how it works. And then at this point, we will end this part of the module, and we will consider options for video projects that teachers may choose to include in their curriculum. All right, we're going to save this by clicking on File and Save. We do not want to use Save Project As, because that will actually create another copy of the project. We've already created this project, so we don't need to do Save As. That is our first step that we use, and you don't want to confuse yourself. We're just going to hit Save. And now we can go to Quit. And always just save whichever. These are just old projects I'm dealing with.